A lot of y'all are battling with not knowing your purpose, not knowing what you want to do in life, not knowing where you're going in life. I don't know my purpose. I don't know what I'm called to do. You guys, if you're in a season where you don't know your purpose, go serve. Be selfless in this season. Put yourself aside and go serve. God has been humbling me with the b.simone brand. My name being b.simone, me being this famous celebrity and wrapping my identity around my brand and my platform and validation and numbers and Instagram and social media. And this scripture slapped me in the face. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Try This Again. I am your host, b.simone. I am so happy you are here. First of all, I gotta send some love to my OGs. Thank you. You guys left reviews on Apple Podcasts, and I was so teary-eyed. Y'all were writing essays on there. I was so surprised. I was reading those reviews like, oh my gosh, they really love the pod. They love me. So thank you for your reviews. If you haven't left a review, go leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave me 5 stars. If you are new here, thank you for tuning in. Let us know how you found us. How did you find Let's Try This Again? How did you find the movement? How did you find this community? Thank you for being here. And yeah, it is the new year. We are a couple weeks into the new year. I've had all solo episodes this year, you guys. So next week, I think we're going to bring a guest. And I've been thinking about this guest for a while. So you guys are going to see who it is. I'm super excited. It's a man too. It's not a lady. So we're going to crack our little, but what is it called? Not crack, but, pop the cherry. Yep. We're going to pop the cherry of having no guests this year in 2025. And we're going to have guests next week. I interviewed some amazing men that I want to bring on the platform. So yeah, as you can see by the title, this episode is about serving, finding your voice through serving, finding who you are through serving, finding your purpose through serving, how impactful serving is. And I'm going to tell you guys how this came up. Literally at the end of 2024, God made it clear as day to me, you need to serve. It's really crazy when you start building your relationship with God and you have these moments. It's a knowing and a feeling and just a knowing. There's no confusion when he's talking to you, whether it's through a person, something you've been praying for, whether it's through something you see online, whether it's through a miracle, sign, wonder, just throughout your day. God spoke to me in this moment through scripture. I was in my prayer room and I was showing this on my, y'all, I'm sorry. On YouTube, I started doing the vlogs, A New Era with B, but I stopped because I want to separate the vlogs and the podcast. We're going to probably make a new YouTube for the podcast to separate LTTA and b.simone, the entertainer, comedian, everything. But the New Era with B vlogs are still up. You guys can check them out. But during that vlog series, I was showing you guys the making of my prayer room. I was showing what I was buying on Amazon, putting it together, doing all the things. And then I just stopped. Everybody is like, where's the prayer room? Did you finish it? Did you finish the prayer room? Where is it? Let us see it. To answer your question, yes, it's finished. And no, you can't see it. I am so sorry that I built up all that anticipation to not show you guys the final product, because once it was final, it was something that I wanted to keep sacred and keep for myself. My prayer room is absolutely beautiful. It's so phenomenal. The lighting, the ambiance, the covers, the blankets, the journals and everything I have in there. I just have like a palette on the floor. I have my dry erase board and my little pen board. I have all the things that I showed you guys, some of the process. But to answer your question, no, I'm not going to show the final product of that prayer room, I want to keep it sacred, and that's what I'm going to do. Even people that come over to my house, people that know me, I don't really let them or want them to go in there. I don't want anything in that room. That is where I worship. That is where I pray. And that is where I build my relationship with God and try to hear his voice. And I said all that to say, when I was in that prayer room, it was towards the end of 2024. It had to be a couple days before the new year. I was worshiping, praying. I'm trying to get my routine down. Like, okay, if you know you have to be out the house by 9, how long does it take you to get ready? I was like, my therapist asked me this yesterday. I was like, it takes me like 10 minutes to get ready. She was like, so you can use the bathroom, brush your teeth, wash your face, have your breakfast, do your praise and worship, do your prayer, have your time with God, and be out the house in 10 minutes. I was like, actually, if we're talking about all that to get ready, I need about 2 hours. So I've been trying to be intentional to get up 2 hours before I need to start my day to do all of those things, to not be on my phone, to have my praise and worship in my prayer room with God, to have my devotion, to have my time. Sometimes I just sit, try to clear my thoughts. I'll pray, I'll listen to my gospel music and all the things, right? So at the end of 2024, a couple days before the New Year's, I was doing that. I was having my praise and worship. I was in there playing my music, and God literally took me directly to Mathew 23. Because sometimes you don't know how to read the Bible. Like, I'm not reading the Bible just Genesis through Revelation or reading it like a storybook. The Bible is a spiritual book. So I'm learning how to read it and where to go. And sometimes I'll just sit and pray and ask God to lead me. Sometimes I just open it and start reading and seeing what that scripture says. Sometimes the scripture will be referred. But this very moment when I was doing my praise and worship, God took me directly to Mathew 23:11. And I'm going to read it to you guys. If you're watching, I have my Bible and I want to read it. I was going to Google it. I was like, you have a Bible, you can read it. Matthew. It's like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Where is Matthew? Is it after Jeremiah or is it before Paul? I don't even think Paul is a book in the Bible. Joel, I did not know Joel was a book. Who is Joel? I need to research these people. That's Corinthians, Matthew. There it is. Thank you. Not embarrassing me. Y'all, I don't know my books of the Bible. When the pastor say to go to a book of the Bible, I go to the front. What is it called? The front, the index? Not the index. What's it called, Caleb? You're smart. Not the glossary. What's the front? With all the table of continents. Shut up. Y'all know what I mean. All right. So during my praise and worship, God took me directly to Mathew 23, you guys. And when I say, I'm going to read it. It's powerful. I wrote it down on my dry erase board in my prayer room, Mathew 23, verse 11. But I'm going to read 1 through 11 really quick. Then Jesus said to the crowds and his disciples, the teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must be careful to do everything they tell you. Wow, wow. Ooh, 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 ooh. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy, cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Everything they do is done for people to see. They make their, I don't know what that word says, phylacteries. They make their phylacteries. Google it. Wide and the tassels on their garments long. They love the place of honor at banquets and the most important seats in the synagogues. They love to be greeted with respect in the marketplace and to be called rabbi by others. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher and you are all brothers. And do not call on anyone on earth father, for you have one father, he is in heaven. Y'all, when I say this scripture hit me in the face, it's so crazy that I came to this scripture because it's exactly what I've been dealing with. Exactly what I've been dealing with. God has been humbling me with the b.simone brand, my name being b.simone, me being this famous celebrity, and wrapping my identity around my brand and my platform and validation and numbers and Instagram and social media. And this scripture slapped me in the face. Man, they love to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces and to be called rabbi by others, but you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher and you are all brothers. Do not call anyone on earth father, for you have one father and he is in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, that is the Messiah. The greatest, this is the scripture, the greatest among you, this is verse 23:11, the greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. I got so much from this scripture on a personal level because it's so crazy how God speaks to you. When I was reading this passage, I was screaming in my prayer room. I'm like, this is exactly what I have been dealing with and battling. And there is so much that you can unpack in this scripture. But today, I'm just going to talk about serving, the power of serving, you guys. I read that scripture and I wrote it down also on my dry erase board. In 2025, I need to serve. God is calling me to serve. He is calling me to humble myself and serve. And shortly after that, I'm going to tell you guys a little backstory. I went to my dad's church in Columbus, but how I got there, I was talking to my family. My aunt is pretty sick. So y'all keep her in her prayers. Keep her in your prayers. She's battling with cancer and going in and out of chemo, and she just had another surgery. So she's pretty sick. And my uncle wasn't doing too good. He was stressed. My two cousins, who are her daughters, were kind of stressed. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just come to Columbus. Her surgery was on a Thursday. I was like, I'm just going to fly to Columbus. The next morning, I flew out that Friday morning. I went to Columbus and I was off that weekend. I'm like, not only can I see my aunt, can I love on my family, love on my cousins, pray over my aunt and spend time with them, I can also go to my dad's church on that Sunday. My dad is a pastor, if you guys don't know, in Columbus, Ohio, at Love Zion Missionary Baptist Church. Yeah, Pastor Greenfield, yeah. When you see my daddy, yeah, salute him, okay? He been serving in that ministry for so many years, y'all. If you're looking for a church home in Columbus, Ohio, go to Love Zion Baptist Church, Missionary Baptist Church. Yeah, that was my church. I grew up in that church. I was an usher at like 3 years old, like 2 seats right here. I'm like, Daddy, I do not want to usher. Please let me sit down. I am 3. I am drained, okay? I want to go play. Can I play? Night? You got me in the choir at 2 months. But anyway, yeah, so he's a pastor there. And I was like, okay, I can go visit my family, then I can go to my dad's church on Sunday. So I visited my family. I had an amazing weekend, saw my aunt, loved on my aunt, loved on my uncle, loved on my cousins. And then that Sunday, I was so excited to get up and see my dad preach. Like, I was so emotional. I had not seen my dad preach in years, you guys, years. Like, I haven't been to this church in a long time. Usually when I go visit Columbus, I'll see my family, be out. I'll have a show, I'll be out. So I wake up that Sunday. I'm excited to go see my dad preach the word. It's the first Sunday of the month. So when he's in his robe, he got on his preacher, pastor, apostle, bishop, deacon robe, you know, that robe, and the deaconess were there. And my dad's church is so cultured. It's more old school. It's not as modern as a lot of modern 2025 churches. Is very cultured, which I love, because millennials can attest to this. If you grew up in the church, there's a lot of things in the church that we don't have now in modern church that we had in the past. But I do believe there should be a balance and a bridge between old school and new school, because you do want to cater to the newer generation so they come to church. But so being in my dad's service, I saw him preaching. I was looking at the choir. The choir is a little more old school. It's a lot of the same people that have been there for the past 20, 30 years that were there when I was younger. The same choir members. It was about 8 choir members, 1 choir director. He was on the keys and directing the choir. And it was just very like nostalgic. But as I was in my dad's service, looking at the people, looking at the order of everything, looking at him preach, his sermon was phenomenal. My dad is such a good speaker. He's such a good preacher. I was like literally bawling. The sermon was so good. I'll actually tell you guys about that sermon. Somebody remind me what the word was about. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, like, oh my gosh, I can really help in certain areas in the church. Like something popped up. It was like it was like give your tithes and offering, right? And then it was the lzbbaptistchurch.com. I'm like, okay, in my mind, y'all know I'm a marketer. I'm a visionary. I've been doing this for 15, 20 years on my own, marketing and branding and helping businesses grow, mine and other businesses. I'm like, they need a QR code to pop up. if they want the younger generation, people aren't typing in the website. A QR code needs to pop up and they can scan the QR code so it could take people directly to ways to give, opposed to going online, typing it in, opposed to a million steps, it'll take 2 steps. So I'm observing all this stuff. I'm like, wow, like I could do this. My mind is racing. And in that moment, I realized I've thought about the moment, Mathew 23:11, when God told me to serve at the end of last year. I'm like, I had no idea that I was going to be serving in my Father's ministry. And it literally brought me full circle. I'm like, this is where I'm going to start serving. I'm going to start serving at Love Zion Missionary Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio, in my Father's ministry. And it made me so excited because I feel like all the skills, all the gifts, all the knowledge that I've acquired, I can really pour it into my dad's ministry and help his ministry grow and bridge the gap between the older generation and the younger generation of people that he's trying to get into his church, because the older people are going to get older, eventually pass away. Like, you want to be able to pass the torch to somebody and let the next generation take over the church, whether it's the choir, whether it's the greeters at the door, whether it's the announcement person, whether it's the ushers, whoever it is in the ministry. There has to be a moment where you get that younger generation. And in that moment, I felt so impactful. Like, wow, God told me to serve. And this is exactly where I'm going to start serving, in my dad's church and in my dad's ministry. So yeah, serving is just, I feel like it helps you feel so impactful. It connects you to purpose. It's a place where you can use your gifts and what you're good at and serve and be an asset to a person, a family member, a friend, a business, a community, an environment. Serving, I will never forget, in Will Smith's book, the book that he dropped a few years ago, I have it up here on my bookshelf. He says, desires involve self, purpose involves others. So when you are serving, you are literally walking in purpose and allowing yourself to serve others, and it allows you to walk in purpose, you guys. In that moment, of course, my dad's like, I mean, he's been serving at his church for 20 plus years. But I'm like, I thought about all the value that I could bring to his church to get the younger generation in there. I told him, I'm like, Dad, I'm going to come up there. I want to come up there every third Sunday of the next few months and do something for women that is impactful. I think the first one we're going to do is February 15th and 16th. So on the 15th, that Saturday, we'll have like a women's support group. Me and a few of my friends will be able to talk to women, commune with women, share with women, do like a weekend of healing on Saturday. And then that Sunday, we will bring the women to church and we will all go to church together. I was telling him about different ideas. It's so crazy that we talking about servant, because I literally posted on Instagram and Threads. I was like, if anybody's in Columbus, Ohio, and is looking for a church home, you can go to Love Zion Baptist Church. My dad is the pastor there. And if you want to serve, if you have any gifts or talents that you want to bring to the church, please DM me or let me know. Literally, in just a few minutes, somebody DM'd me, and I went to the girl's page and I went to her message that she sent me. She was like, I would love to serve your dad's ministry. I specialize in photography. I photograph praise and worship at different churches. And this year, God is telling me to serve and give back. So I would love to do photos in your father's ministry for free, for absolute free. And I was like, wow, like that quick, already a younger photographer that can come in, take photos and show how my dad's ministry runs. So I just think serving allows you a space to be in a environment where you're good at something, use your gifts and your talents that God gave you and give it to somebody without expecting anything else in return besides serving, helping, giving, and being an asset in a new environment. So I wrote these reasons down, you guys, why I think serving is powerful. I was working on this episode last night and I'm like, why is serving so important? And these are the things that I wrote down that I came up with. I feel like it connects you to purpose. And I just said that, I explained that. It shifts your perspective from focusing on yourself to others. And that can help you uncover like your talents, your passions, what you want to do, what you're good at. You guys, if you're in a season where you don't know your purpose, go serve. Go be an asset somewhere. Go serve. I know a lot of people always say, well, I don't know my purpose. I don't know my what I'm called to do. Use your gifts, use what you're good at, and go serve. I believe service can help with emotional and spiritual healing, you guys. Why? Because it helps you not feel lonely. It helps you not feel unworthy. It helps you not be stagnant. It helps with connection. You're going to meet so many people that can be a connection to your purpose, and it helps with gratitude. When you go serve, you're serving and being an asset in an environment where you're really, really needed. So it makes you feel grateful, like, wow, I am really helping these people, and I am an asset here at this community with my friend, with my family member in this environment. And I put, it can give you direction when you don't know your purpose. You guys, a lot of y'all are battling with not knowing your purpose, not knowing what you want to do in life, not knowing where you're going in life. If you start to serve somewhere and use your gifts, it will steer you in the correct direction and open up doors and ideas of where you can go with your purpose and how you can use your gifts to maybe continue to serve, maybe start your own business, maybe write that book, maybe start that daycare center, whatever it is that you feel like God is calling you to do. Serving will open up the door and give you innovation and creative ideas for you to start walking in purpose. And just like the example of the photographer that reached out to me, you guys don't have to wait for somebody to post a flyer or say they need help, or somebody in a community, whether it's a church, whether it's a community, whether it's a friend, saying they need help or they need a team member or they need service. Like, you can put yourself out there and be of service to somebody. Go to your friends. How can I serve you in this season? Go to your family. How can I serve you in this season? Go to your local church. How can I serve here in this season? You know, let people know your gifts, your talents, and how you can be an asset to them, their platform, and their environment and what they have going on. Don't wait for an opportunity to come. You go get the opportunity to serve. But yeah, what excites me the most about serving this year, and the way that God made it so clear as day that I'm going to go back and serve my dad's ministry, is that it's so full circle, you guys. I literally am from Dallas, Texas, but I lived in Columbus, Ohio for 6 years, from 6th grade to 11th grade, from ages 12 to about 17. So, I'm excited to go back to the roots of Columbus, Ohio, where my family is, where my dad's church is, and just give back to his community. I feel like I can learn so much in this season of serving. Like I said, I'm starting off with a women's group. I want to do it every third Sunday of the month. It's free. I'm not selling tickets. That's not what serving is, y'all. Not coming up with a t-shirt design and selling a t-shirt, or coming up with a brand and selling a book. Or no, it's giving back for free, giving your time, giving your resources, giving your love for free. And I'm so excited to do that in my dad's ministry. I feel like I will meet so many women that I can impact that just need the help. And I will be able to meet them and touch them and be tangible in person, not just through the internet. And hopefully give them some hope and give them a church home that they can go to on Sundays, even when I'm not there. So we'll be doing that every third week of the month. February, the first one in February will be the 15th and the 16th. Then we'll do the third Sunday and Saturday in March, and the third Sunday and Saturday in April, which will be Easter Sunday. So if you're in Columbus, Ohio, you guys are more than welcome to pull up. I'm going to be posting the information about that very, very soon. And I think serving in this season is going to help me grow as a leader. It's going to help me grow as an entrepreneur. It's going to, like the scripture said, humble me and allow me to live in gratitude with where God has me, with where I am. Because when you're serving, whether you're going to a shelter, to a church, to a friend, you're the asset. You're helping whoever or whatever community you're helping. So you realize, like, a lot of people are going through it. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are struggling. So serving gives you an opportunity to live in gratitude. So you guys, I wrote down questions that I want you guys to think about and ask yourself in this season. If you don't know where to start with serving, if you don't know what to do, write this down, y'all. Get a pen, get a pad. What talents, what skills do I have that I can offer to others? Whether it's singing, whether it's playing an instrument, whether you're patient, you just have a lot of patience. You like children, you like animals, you know how to make things. You're very crafty, you're very artsy. You're good with operations. You're good with marketing. You're good with people skills. You like to talk to people. What is your talents and gifts that you can offer to a community if you want to serve in this season? And who in your life or in your community needs help right now? Take those talents and those gifts and see where you can be an asset. Is there a friend that needs help with their business? Is there a family member that is struggling? Is there a community that you would like to give back? Okay, you came from an abusive relationship. Maybe you want to go serve at a battered woman's home. Shekinah was just telling me about that yesterday, that she was serving there in Columbus for a while. So think about your experience. Think about where God has brought you out of. Think about what you have been through and go serve people like you. If you are a single mom, go find a place to serve single moms. If you are divorced, if you've been through a divorce, go serve women that have been through a divorce. If you have been through an abusive relationship or anything traumatic like that, go serve women who are still in those spaces that God delivered you from. You can literally go serve in spaces that you were, but you are no longer, and you can go back and help those same people get out of those spaces. I also wrote, if you have served before. I also wrote this down. If you have served before, write about a time when serving someone else brought you joy or growth. Think about times where you have served or been an asset, you guys. It doesn't just, thankfully, I know God made it this way intentionally. Serving feels good and helping people feels good. So it allows us to do it more selflessly. When you serve, it's going to bring you so much joy and gratitude and allow you to get to the next level of your purpose and where God is trying to take you. And y'all, so, before we wrap up, you guys, serving does not require perfection. It requires willingness to be selfless. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to know everything, but just being open and willing to do it is going to really impact your life. Serving has impacted my life in so many ways. I want to do more community service this year. And it's so crazy because I'm like, I was thinking about serving. I'm like, oh, I want to serve my dad's church and do this. And I was going back like, have I done a lot of service? Have I done community service? Have I done a lot of free stuff? And I started thinking about that. So I asked my friends, I'm like, in what ways do you feel like I serve? And they sent me voice memos and text messages. I'm going to share them because serving is not just community service. And I'm going to let you guys listen to what they said about how I serve them and how I love them and how I've been service to my community. And it was so impactful to hear it from somebody outside of myself. Because I think when we think about service, we think about community service, or we think about giving back to the less fortunate, or we think about going to feed the homeless, like things like that. But you can serve in ways like you might have a friend or a family member that needs a babysitter and they can't afford it. Okay, I'll babysit. You know what? I'm going to serve you in this season and I'll do it for free this month or for the next few months, or I can give my time a few hours a week, whatever that looks like. But serving doesn't have to be this grand thing that is like giving $10,000 to a foundation. That's not always what serving looks like. So yeah, y'all share your own stories of serving below. If you have served, I want you to comment below on how you've served in a past season. And if you want to serve this year, what you feel like you can bring to a community or to a person, write it below on how you feel like you can serve in this season. But I'm going to share these messages with you guys, and they were just so beautiful and so impactful. So a couple are voice memos, so I'll share those. And then one of my friends texts me. So when I ask your friends this, you guys, this is a good exercise to ask your friends. Ask them, what do you feel like my gifts are? What do you feel like I am called to do in this season? Ask your friends, I want to serve. Tell me how you feel like I could serve in the community, how you feel like I could serve you, and ask them what I asked. This was the question I asked my friends, y'all. I asked, how have you seen me serve or be of service in my life? Tomorrow's episode is about serving, and I want to know your lens and how you see me when it comes to serving. So I'm going to share my friends' responses. This is a great exercise to do because it really shows you like how people see you outside of you. So my first friend's response, Monica, she said, "You have been of service by using your words to empower others, sending encouraging texts to help make someone feel seen, and expressing how proud you are of accomplishments, which really is invaluable to help someone keep going. You also are willing to give your spotlight to others in order to place them in position to grow and find their voice and find their purpose. To me, all of those things are examples of serving." Blew my mind, you guys. Blew my mind. I think when we think of serving, we think of all the other things, the community service aspects of it. But even her just breaking that down, I'm like, wow, like that made me feel really good that I'm serving my community and my friends in those type of ways. I'm going to share another voice memo from another friend. This is Bria. This was her response.
I think you have to define service. And to me, it's contributing to the well-being of others through actions, through resources, or through words without an expectation of something in return.
That was a good definition. And this is what she said when I asked her, how has she seen me serve in our friendship?
That being said, I think you are serving in so many ways. You've served me by fasting with me. There was a time that I really needed it, and it wasn't something that you needed in your life at the time, but you just knew that going on that with me or going on that journey with me and giving me that support was the care that I needed for my well-being. I think you've served me also by pulling me into opportunities where my contributions don't on paper have benefit to you, but you know that it's good for me. I think you are of service by even sharing your own stories vulnerably with the community that you've created to show them reality or relatability when it's hard for you to do that. I think it's actually pretty selfless. So you're of service in a lot of ways, but those are just a few. All three are personal because I'm a part of the community that you created, but the first two are very personal to me. And I would say the last one is just the service that you have in community.
Wow. So these voice messages, you guys, I'm telling you, ask your friends this. Ask your friends, because these voice messages remind you, I'm not out doing community service every day. I can't lie and sit here and say I'm out feeding the homeless every day. I can't lie and say I donate to this charity every other month and I'm out at these shelters every day. I can't lie and say that, but that might not be the way you serve in this season. And there might be a season where I am doing that. But knowing that this is service too, and I'm serving my friends, I'm serving my community, I'm serving the people around me, really impacted me when I heard these voice messages. I haven't even heard this one. This one is from Shekinah, so I don't know what she gonna say, but I can always edit it out. But let's hear what Shekinah said when I asked her. The question was, once again, how do you feel like I have served in my life? And not just served them, just served in general. So this was Shekinah's answer. I haven't heard her answer yet.
Hey, sissy. Wow. How have I seen you serve in your life? Oh my gosh, I feel like so many ways. I think I've seen you serve and give your resources to people you love. Like if you know or find new ways to make money, you're always willing to put someone else on.
Wow.
You never gatekeep. And to me, that service, I feel like I've seen you serve other colleagues by using your talents and gifts to be a blessing and not charging them.
Wow.
And I've also seen you serve the people you love with your encouragement and affirming words. Like you always are the one to speak life over us, even at your lowest moments. And to me, that's service.
Oh, kinda. All of these are so beautiful. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Shekinah. Wow. And it's crazy because a lot of them are saying different things, but the same thing. Like, it's a common denominator of my character, like kind of what's in me, how I serve, like what I do. I'm definitely a words of affirmation person. I'm definitely like, if I'm on, you on. If I'm making money on Snapchat, I'm putting y'all on to Snapchat. If I'm making money over here, you need to hop on over here. I remember when Clubhouse was hopping, I was like, Clubhouse is the next thing. I was telling everybody to get on Clubhouse. I wasn't getting nothing from that, but I thought Clubhouse was going to be the next TikTok. So I was trying to put all my friends on. But yeah, it shows you guys, this is so cool. Ask your friends, how do you feel like I serve in my life? And see what they say about you. Let me see. I have one more. This is Jazz. She sent that this morning, so I haven't heard hers. Let's see.
Good morning. How I have seen you serve. I've seen you serve in so many different ways, but one of the first to come up is how you give people the opportunity to walk in their gift by walking in yours. You just are constantly amplifying and supporting people in their own dreams and selflessly allowing other people's dreams to be a part of your dream. And you dream bigger, you dream big enough to include those around you in that dream. I feel like you serve by being a financial pillar in so many people's lives. You're constantly being the one that really financially improves those lives around you. You're a financial pillar by impacting so many people with laughter. You raise their spirits, give them joy. That is such a blessing and such a beautiful way to serve. I also think that you serve with your kindness, with your love, with the healing that you've done. You create a ripple effect of those around you. And I think that pretty much everything that you do is with the mentality of serving and doing things with love, with grace, with kindness. And I'm so grateful to be here and to serve right alongside you.
Oh, Jazzy.
And if you can't tell, I just woke up. Have a beautiful pod day. I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Oh, that makes me feel so good. Wow. All right, y'all. And this one is from Vina.
There's a lot of ways that you served me. July 19th was one of them. When you put you aside and became someone that was there of service, not a b.simone, not a Braylon, you had the spirit of service on you. Humility, you were humble, and you wanted to see me win. When somebody's able to take their hat off and get out, separate who they are, that's gold. That's someone you keep around. And I've seen that from you. I thank God for blessing me, but I also thank God for blessing you, because sometimes you don't have to say, hey, I pay for this, I do this. I figure you do it and don't know that it needs to be done. So I appreciate you in that space. And I've watched you be service to just not me, but to everybody. You separate you to make sure somebody else is all right. So, love you. Good night.
Oh, so that was Venus. So you guys, serving is not one-dimensional. Those messages, y'all know me. I'm a big crybaby. I done cried the past 4 or 5 episodes. I'm not crying today. I mean, I might cry later, but not on camera. Y'all ain't gonna get another tear out of me. But they're good tears. These are good tears. These are healed tears. I was talking about this with my therapist yesterday. I am just so happy that I am walking in an answered prayer for all the things I prayed for last year that were just heavy. It's like, oh, it's off of me. And I'm going to talk about that in the next episode, just comparison and getting off the internet and focusing and honing in. Like, I just feel so, so good. And those messages just, man, it's powerful. It's powerful to see how people see you through their lens, not your lens, not what you think about yourself, but through their lens. I started acting class the other day, and my acting coach was like, what's one thing you really like about yourself? No, she asked me 3 things. What are 3 things you like about yourself? And one thing I said was my heart. So I'm really grateful for that gift. And to hear those messages, it just reminds me that I'm on the right path. I'm serving in different ways. I'm serving my friends and my community in different ways. And serving is not one dimensional. Think about how you can serve. Think about how you can be an asset to somebody, something, some movement, some community in this season without expecting anything in return, but just giving your heart, giving your all, and serving. If you do not know what to do in this season, if you are confused, if you do not know your purpose, if you don't know your next step, if you feel stagnant, go serve. Be selfless in this season. Put yourself aside and go serve. Go use the gifts and talents and ideas and innovation and creativity that God has given you to go be an asset somewhere where you are getting nothing in return. Your friends need help. Your family members need help. Your community needs help. Your church needs help. The shelter downtown needs help. Where can you be an asset? Where can you use your gifts, your talents, your mind, what you're good at? Because you're good at something. I don't want to hear, people tell me this all the time. I don't have no talents. I don't have no gifts. I'm not good at nothing. You haven't sat with yourself long enough and you haven't tried enough because you're good at something. God has given everybody a gift. You have a gift. Even if your gift is patience, that's a gift because a lot of us are struggling with it, including myself. Okay. So sit with yourself, figure out your gift and figure out where you can go to be an asset and serve without expecting anything else in return. And I promise you, it will open up doors. It will open up doors to relationships, to connections, to filling voids that you may have of lack, loneliness, not being grateful, no gratitude. I promise it will fulfill you in that way. Go serve, and it will lead you to finding a pathway to your purpose and the next step in the next season God is trying to get you to. If you are confused in this season, what you need to do is go serve. This episode was just about how I'm going to serve this year. And I'm starting with my father's ministry, and I can't be more joyed and excited to give back to his church and just serve. I'm so excited to serve there. Like, I'm really excited to give my resources, my ideas, my knowledge, my healing to not only to the women that I'm going to be getting together monthly at his church, but to his ministry, whether it's getting a flyer printed, whether it's making his website more modern, whether it's all the things I know about marketing and branding and all the things. Yes, it's a church, you guys. And I told my dad, I was like, it's okay to want to have your pews filled with more souls to save and more people you're called to. And it's okay to have a flyer and market your ministry and let people know this church exists. It's okay to have a social media and let people know the doors of the church are open. I think there's a fine line between, just going crazy and doing it for all the wrong reasons and then using what we have in this generation. It's like saying, I don't want to use a cell phone. Everybody I want to talk to, I want to write them letters. That's perfectly fine. If you don't want a cell phone and you want to communicate with people and write them letters and send it to their house and wait and wait 4 days to get a response and all those things, if you want to be stuck in the past and write letters, that's perfectly fine. But as for us, the world is going to move on, right? So there has to be a connection between using modern day resources and not losing the nostalgia and the culture of the church. And that's the gap that I feel like I'm called to fill and bridge the gap between the culture and the modern day ways to get more people in his seat. So I'm very excited to use my gifts, my knowledge and serve my dad, his community, and all the women in Columbus, Ohio. You're more than welcome to come. I will be posting it very soon. Like I said, it'll be the third Saturday and Sunday of every month, starting in February, March, and April. I will be serving. It will be free. We will be coming together, communing together, getting together, and just creating a safe space for women to come and release. And yeah, I'm excited to serve. So how you going to serve this year? How are you going to serve this year? Think about it. Think about your gifts. Think about what God has blessed you with and how you can give it back to your friends, family, your community. Oh, and y'all see this hoodie? This ain't got nothing to do with serving, but I was about to cut and say, let's go. But this hoodie is out. This hoodie is out, y'all. We had the God Made Me Lit t-shirts. The t-shirts are sold out. So we got the hoodie set, the hoodie and the sweatpants. Let's try this again.com. Go shop. Go shop. Get your hoodie. It's so freaking cute. I just wanted to put that little shameless plug in there before I got off. But yeah, I'm super, super excited. How are you going to serve in 2025? Make sure you are serving this year. Go read that scripture, Mathew 23:11. Humble yourself and serve. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Let's Try This Again with b.simone. I love you guys so much. I will see you next week. You know, the audio drops every Monday. Please listen to the audio. If you don't listen to the audio, it really helps you guys. It helps us with brand and marketing and getting sponsorships. The audio numbers matter. Listen to the audio. Play the audio. Go start from the beginning and just press play. If you're in the shower, if you're walking around the house, just let it play. Let it play. Watch the YouTubes every single Tuesday. Rate, comment, subscribe. All of that helps us, you guys. It helps us get the word out there for Let's Try This Again, this whole movement we're creating. The app is coming soon. Make sure you follow at LTTA app on Instagram. And lastly, join the broadcast channel on Let's Try This Again at Let's Try This Again. On Instagram, the broadcast channel is in the bio, you guys. Click that broadcast channel. Join the broadcast channel. It's private conversations. I put daily devotions in there, daily motivation in there. I be going live in there. It's a small community, but it's like our little private group chat. So go join that. And I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. This was a great episode. Thank you for being here. How are you going to use your gifts to serve this year without expecting anything in return? I love you guys. See you next week. Bye. All right, you guys, wait, real quick before you go on with this episode. I have an announcement, baby. We got a new YouTube. We're moving all of the podcast stuff to the new YouTube eventually. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/@Let'sTryThisAgain podcast. The link is in the description box. Go subscribe now. All of your podcasts, your favorites, episode 1 all the way to now, will be in one place. We made a new YouTube just for Let's Try This Again. So let's try this again and go subscribe. Trying to get those subscribers up over there, okay? Eventually, all of the podcasts will be on that new YouTube. Go subscribe to that new YouTube. And yeah, I love you guys.